Another Battle Royale comparison video. So today we have probably the most long-awaited comparison of the channel. As you guys probably knew from our video yesterday, PUBG Mobile has actually soft launched in China. And because of that, we're actually able to play the game as long as we know a few tips and tricks. So if you guys don't know how to do that, make sure you check the video out on the channel. I posted it yesterday, so it should be our most recent upload. Before I forget, we are going to have our notification squad shoutouts up on the screen right now. So those are going to be for the first 6 people to comment on my last video. Thanks to everybody that did hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. If you guys want a shot at being in the next one, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below and turn on notifications so you know as soon as I upload. But getting into the comparison, I'm not going to lie, guys. PUBG Mobile looks pretty dang good. But that being said, I don't think it's going to replace Rules of Survival. And that's not me saying that it's worse either. I think it's a very, very different style of game. And so I'm going to get into that throughout the video. Obviously, most of the base mechanics are similar. You're jumping out of an airplane, landing on the ground, and trying to find equip so that you can take out the other people that are landing next to you. That being said, there aren't a lot of really close similarities whenever it comes to the game mechanics. So one thing that I really like about PUBG Mobile is the fact that it automatically picks up the items that would be best for you to use. Now, this is currently in Chinese, so I can't read the majority of what is happening right now. I'm not really even sure how to do a lot of stuff, but since it functions so similarly to Rules of Survival, it's pretty easy to play the game just based off past experience. Obviously, you got your 2 weapons down below. So I think right now we got a SMG and a rifle, maybe? I'm not sure. The one on the right, I'm pretty sure, is relatively powerful. It'll come into play in a little bit in our gameplay here. But as you can see, most of the mechanics are relatively similar, but function in a very different way. So you reload the same way, switch guns the same way. I will say in PUBG Mobile, whenever you're like, it's just like small things that I noticed, like when you're going over obstacles or different things like that, it actually looks like it would when somebody's going over obstacles in real life. So in Rules of Survival, you basically just jump over stuff, even if it's like way higher than most people would ever be able to jump. So in PUBG Mobile, you actually like climb over stuff, which I think is pretty cool. The sound effects are pretty accurate as well. Like the footsteps definitely sound like real footsteps. As you can see, they're actually crawling through the window rather than just straight up jumping through a window, which most people probably would not do. Now, that's not really a game changer for me, but at the same time, it's something to take into account. But I would say, essentially, PUBG Mobile is going to be the more realistic Battle Royale game. Rules of Survival is probably going to be the more fun one. So when you jump into PUBG Mobile, you have, I believe, 100 other people rather than 120 other people. I believe Rules of Survival's smallest map is also 4 kilometers by 4 kilometers. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong on that. But actually, hold up. 4 kilometers? It might be 3 kilometers by 3 kilometers. It might be actually smaller than that. But either way, I'm pretty sure it's smaller than it is in PUBG Mobile. And also, PUBG Mobile's map, I believe, it seems like 5 or 6 kilometers by 5 or 6 kilometers. So it's bigger. Now you run at about the same speed. You got those different mechanics, like you run faster when you're not holding a gun, all that kind of stuff. But when you got 20 less people, that is going to take away less of the action in the game. So typically a PUBG Mobile game is going to be a little bit less action-packed. This clip that I recorded was about 25 minutes long, and in that time, I think we only saw like 3 or 4 people. Whereas in this clip for Rules of Survival is like 16 minutes, and I saw 10 people. Now, that being said, half the people that I saw were bots in Rules of Survival, so obviously it's going to be more challenging when you actually get to go up against other people rather than just kind of running around and taking out bots, because there's not a whole lot of challenge in that. But at the same time, I was doing this on a beginner account just to kind of get more of an action-packed video. And also to make sure I didn't die, because I haven't played Rules of Survival on mobile in forever. And I wanted to make sure that we had mobile versus mobile rather than comparing the PC version of Rules of Survival. You can see we get our first kill in PUBG Mobile right there. So actually, whenever that happened, I realized that I forgot to turn my volume on. So If somebody had been shooting at me before, I would have had no idea. Also, I didn't have any idea that that guy was shooting at me. I really just kind of got lucky. Like, I was looking around in the street. I don't think he had even hit me yet. And I just looked and saw him there, and we got him with the headshot, so we took him out right there. There are more realistic aspects, like you probably just saw. You can't run straight up a rock face in PUBG Mobile like you can in Rules of Survival. And I would say, to a certain degree, the graphics are a little bit more realistic, especially when it comes to like your ability to create your own character. In my opinion, that's really, really cool. Obviously, Rules of Survival has to make money somehow, so most of their money comes from people buying equips and stuff like that, which you'll probably also be able to do in PUBG Mobile. But honestly, guys, they're both really good games. So one big complaint that I did have about PUBG Mobile is how quickly the safe zone moves, especially in relation to the size of the map and the fact that there aren't a whole lot of vehicles. So if there were vehicles that you could hop in that were like readily available, I would not have an issue with it at all. But as it is, I don't think I saw any vehicles except one time a dude drove by me on the map. I didn't really see any other vehicles, and as you're going to see in a little bit here, we're going to have to do a lot of running, and there's actually like a massive body of water that I'll go ahead and skip to right now. What I'm showing you guys right now is the sped up version of me having to cross this body of water. Essentially, it took me 2 minutes to cross it, and also the safe zone moves like at least 1,000 meters at a time. You can see right there, there's actually a dude running behind me, and he didn't even bother to take a shot at me because he knew how fast the safe zone is moving. So at this point, there's like no boats, there's no cars, there's no way to move fast, but the safe zone is moving crazy fast. Now, fortunately, you do swim like super fast in the game, but still, it took forever to get to the end of this spot. And I think that's going to be one of the more annoying parts of the game, is trying to move as fast as the safe zone is unless you get lucky and land right in the middle. Now, obviously, there are other aspects of the game, and I don't want to make a general statement about the game saying it's not that good because you can't escape the safe zone. But at the same time, that's a pretty big aspect, because if you can't do it, either A, you're going to have to plan like way, way, way ahead of time in regards to when you're trying to get out of the safe zone, or they might just have to fix it. I think the game would be more fun if they maybe shrunk the map a little, let you encounter more people, and spend less time trying to escape from the safe zone. Because I think that is one of the cool, more fun aspects of Rules of Survival. You don't have to spend the entire time running from the safe zone because there are vehicles everywhere. And honestly, I don't think it's really unrealistic to have vehicles everywhere either. I think one of the main things that PUBG Mobile is looking for in their game is to be as realistic as possible, which Rules of Survival doesn't really try to do, and I think that's alright. I don't think every video game has to be the most realistic thing ever. I think that's part of the reason why Fortnite is so much fun. It's not exactly realistic, but the game mechanics are really cool, and it has different aspects of the game that make it really fun. I think that's why it's kind of jumped over PUBG as it is in the Battle Royale category. So you can see right there, I actually just now turned on my volume so that I could actually hear the gunshots. So we're going to get in a gunfight with this dude, and he's potatoing, I'm potatoing. This is actually my first game of PUBG Mobile, but I think we end up getting the kill here. Let's see. Okay, so we're hiding now. I really had no idea how to function with some of these mechanics, and honestly, sometimes it seems like the scope of the gun almost gets in the way, like you're trying to aim at him, but you can't. And we get the headshot right there and take down our second enemy. So that was kill number 2 of the game. And meanwhile, in Rules of Survival, I think we're on kill number 7 or 8 of the game. So that's just, I mean, it's mainly about how the game mechanics go. Obviously, you can't say everything in both games should be exactly the same, because if it was, then there would be boring. Okay, there was only kill number 6, not 7 or 8. But still, I would say if you're going for the fun aspect, go for Rules of Survival, at least right now. If you're going for the realism aspect, go for PUBG Mobile, because it is incredibly realistic just in so many different aspects. There are some ways that I think the graphics are better, and some ways they might actually be slightly worse. I think most of the things look more realistic in regards to movements, in regards to facial expressions, whatever it is in PUBG Mobile. But let me know what you guys think of the two games down below. I think they're both going to do really well. Obviously, Tencent is going to have a big advantage as they already have PUBG on console, and so that will be a really good way to promote. I'm sure a lot of people that don't know about Rules of Survival that enjoy those survival Battle Royale. I keep saying Survival Royale. That's a different Battle Royale game that I've compared to in the past. But I'm sure a lot of those people that enjoy the Battle Royale type games are really going to enjoy both PUBG Mobile, and it'll probably lead to them discovering Rules of Survival as well. So I'm definitely going to be sticking with Rules of Survival. I like the fun aspect more than I enjoy the realism aspect, because while I do enjoy that it's realistic, at the same time, I'm playing a game to have fun, and in my opinion, Rules of Survival is a little bit more fun. So we're probably going to be sticking with that and probably streaming later today as well, right after I get this video uploaded. So make sure you guys stop by and also drop a like down below if you enjoyed this video. Also make sure you hit the subscribe button if you're new. I will definitely still have more PUBG Mobile on the channel in the future, as well as Rules of Survival, and I will see you.